Oh, maybe they'll go talk to the pedophile. You think that they'll save the kids from the pedophile? I don't think they will.
uh,
They don't usually protect the kids from pedophiles. Perhaps they usually are the problem from the pedophiles.
how you doing today?
I'm living the dream.
All right. Just having a protest.
Protest?
Yep.
Protesting.
Amy Hatton.
What'd she do?
To put kids in homes for sex abuse where they've been determined it's not a safe place for them.
But she doesn't live here.
Well,
So why would we protest somebody that doesn't live here?
because I guess according to the DMV record, she does.
According to the DMV records, I live at the Tigard Police Department, but I don't.
Uh huh.
So you guys probably want to do some more research before you just start accusing somebody.
Well, we've already knocked on the door, and the mom, and she admitted that it was her daughter, and that her.
But she doesn't live here.
Amy out here to speak to us?
She doesn't live here.
Officer, I'm not talking to you.
Okay, here's the deal. If I start getting calls, you guys are going to start getting charged with
Discon. It's laughable.
So, and you're not allowed on their property. If you go on their property, you'll get arrested.
Clearly.
Oh.
They have a right to stand on a sidewalk.
So I'm going to be done with this megaphone, but I'm going to sit out here all night long.
Okay. But if you're using this in the middle of the night,
Clearly, we're not going to use it in the middle of the night.
Clearly, I'm not going to do
smart
that.
enough not to do that.
Obvious.
You mind if I get your name, sir?
Yeah, right here.
All right, I got to get closer.
You want to push your phone down?
N-U-N-N. None. Like a Catholic nun, but with two N's.
You got a business card, officer?
Look like a gang member?
Okay, that's just America Tattoo's cool. I was just checking. Have you been drinking
Blue
today?
Isis gang member.
It's
I'm kind of getting a
it's
scent of
American.
alcohol coming out of your breath.
Yeah, I bet you are. Seeing as I don't drink,
You got a business card?
I don't have it on me, sorry.
I
man.
do.
Where are you guys headed after this? Are you guys going home?
Wherever,
or like, what are your plans for the day?
Wherever the next call leads us to.
Okay.
Where are you coming from?
Where?
Yeah.
We were just at the jail.
Ah, nice place.
Good place.
Depends on what you're there for.
Yeah.
So, you guys are free to leave. For us, oh, I know we're free to leave.
Okay.
Who do you
So are
associate
you.
with?
So, who am I associated with?
Yeah.
The Tigard Police Department.
Okay.
Who did you think I'd be associated with?
You know Blue Isis.
Blue ISIS? I don't know
Yeah.
Blue ISIS. I've never heard of Blue ISIS. I've heard of ISIS, but I've never heard of Blue ISIS.
Give you my card. I'm running for office for
Okay.
Oregon State representative out of the 44th district. It's actually Tina Kotek's seat. And I'm a former CPS investigator, daycare licensor investigator, whistleblower. So I have many concerns about DHS, and so I'm trying to help out.
So,
I just
so
met
let me ask you
recently-
this. If you have problems with DHS, why aren't you addressing it with DHS? Why are you going
He's got jokes. He's got
Jokes
jokes.
all day here. Jokes all day.
It is a good question. If you had a problem with the Tigard Police
I'd
Department,
like to answer, please.
why would you go to my house and argue with me about the Tigard Police Department? I have nothing to do with
My
it.
understanding is that, and I've noticed this happening more and more. I used to be in Washington State, and so I just realized that even with their daycare licensing up there, that they're using the term ghosting. And that is what's happening, that we don't even know who is working where, in what offices and what buildings. And it's been a while since I've been with DSHS, so I was really shocked when I went to look up there. So I am seeing this. I helped one other mom get her child away from CPS. And I did go to the DHS office and I left letters because I have they don't have the experience, they don't have the knowledge base of the agencies. And so I went there directly so that I could leave a letter for the administrator what I knew, and I know the culture of these agencies. So they're just trying to even find the caseworker to talk to the right person because it's all shut down. So you know the Kylie case out of Oregon City.
I deal with Washington County,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Oregon City, so I wouldn't
So-
know about their cases.
Yeah, so when that all came to light, it was because folks like this protested up at OHSU and Oregon City DHS.
So
And so when I saw that is when I got involved. And what I saw was, and one thing that DHS did there in Oregon City to stop that mom from seeing her child is and other moms from seeing their children that week or 2 weeks, they claimed that because there were protesters, that's why they couldn't do visits. And this was said in court, that the DHS social workers were afraid of the people protesting, so therefore moms couldn't visit their children. In court, rather quickly, once I got involved and I had the expertise, they gave Kylie back to her mom like within a week. So there's some huge issues with DHS, and I know that as a whistleblower. So, and I don't even, this is the first time I met these folks, but I heard about it, so I thought, okay, can I
what do you know
something to
about
help?
their case? Or you just show up and you're supporting them?
Facebook.
Do you know?
Yeah, some stuff on Facebook, and that's how I found out about Kylie. You know, I saw YouTube, and I saw the protesters, and I go, oh, I know those people. You know, so then that got me engaged. So it wasn't a video, but
Why
somewhere on
isn't he wearing
Facebook
a
or
mask?
Twitter.
I don't know,
I'm
it's
not
a
sure
good
which
question,
one.
David.
And I thought, okay,
He's on social
this sounds
distancing
kind of
either.
like the same thing that Kylie's
Someone
mom went
asked on
through,
my live.
and what Kylie went through. And the kids are actually about the same age, I guess, now. I mean, I didn't know anything about the case until I got handed this, so that's why I was over there looking. And I can tell you, just as a CPS worker, I can tell from this narrative investigation with a child, it was not done properly.
Okay.
All this is a narrative. And you as a police officer know that if you interview somebody, it's very specific. What's the question? What's the answer? What's the question? And none of that is in here. It's just sort of, this is what he told me.
That's not how I write a report. I don't say, here's the question I answer, here's their answer. I write my investigation as a narrative. You don't say, I asked them this question, they answered it this way.
Well, I worked up with the detectives up in Vancouver, and it was all, that's the proper way to.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No.
Because you could ask a different question, they answer, and you make your question different than what the real question was?
No, when I write a report, it's, I interviewed so-and-so. During the process of my interview, they said this, and they've said this. I asked them about this. This is what they said about it. That's how I write it.
So
I've been a
you-
police
so-
officer for 20 years, including traffic, including school resource officer, including being a supervisor, including
you-
being on
you-
gang
you-
enforcement,
you did
including
write-
being a coach.
Are you telling me you wrote in your narrative the question you asked them?
You are a gang member.
You're right. I'm a gang member.
You are.
Yeah.
No.
Look at my tattoos,
No, you're
American
not.
flag. Yeah.
Okay, well, things have
My
changed.
kids' names on it.
Things have changed then since I worked with the Child Abuse
Not
Intervention
concerned.
Center. It was much more detailed where it has to hold up in court.
Your report is to refresh your memory about the incident that happened. They do not take my report. When I go to court, the judge doesn't look at my report and says, that's why I go to court. I testify to my reports. The judge says, did you ask them about this? Yes, third paragraph. I asked them to explain something, and this is what they told me. The judge does not take my report. If they just took our reports and said, this is all the statements, then we would never have to go to court.
Are you telling
They
me,
ask
are you telling
us-
me the judge doesn't read reports anymore?
The DAs read reports. Judges don't read reports. The
Judges
DA
refuse to
reads
hear
the-
cases.
So that,
She's asking me a question. Let me answer
yeah.
her question.
so
The judge does not read reports. The judge sits there, the DAs and the attorneys ask us questions. We answer those questions. Our reports are used to refresh our memories. We don't go to court and read our report. The judge asks.
I've been in court.
Okay.
I've
Well,
been
you
in
just
court.
told me that's what
Yeah.
happened.
But the side that is being accused needs to have an accurate document or evidence.
You
so
are
that they can
too.
use.
She's talking to me. I'm not talking to you. So I know I'm free to go. You are too. If you don't like what I'm talking, you can leave.
Yeah, you should probably leave.
So anyway, I am just trying to help out, and it sounds like maybe it's a little different 20 years later.
Well,
Yeah,
a lot's
you're-
changed in 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, and
and a
that's-
lot will change in the next 20 years.
Well, and
so.
that's my concern because we cannot even find
Officer, you're free to
daycare
leave.
licensors on
Officers?
on the internet at the
Hi, Douglas.
office locations now, and that's just
You see Paul?
daycare. So now I'm hearing this about CPS.
So why don't you go to CPS and find out what's happening instead of going to individuals' houses?
You can't even find this caseworker at an office that
Yeah,
she's registered at. She's a ghost. That's what she's been trying to explain to you. You can
How
try
do
to
you
go.
know she's a ghost?
Because they
Well,
can't
because
find her.
we've
their
done the
database.
investigation.
Because
and
you can't find her means she's a ghost.
Yes.
That's yeah.
That's
You
You may
you-
not
a little
understand the
awkward.
definition and the explanation of
Because
it, but
I worked.
when you think
I
about
worked.
it logistically,
I was
that's
a school
exactly what
resource.
it is.
I'm a school resource officer now. I work with
Indoctrination
DHS
centers?
every day.
Right, just like
Just
child
because you
trafficking
can't.
doesn't
Just
happen,
because
right?
you can't find them.
Indoctrination center.
We keep our stuff like a police officer. If you go to DMV and ask for my police and ask for my address,
Yeah.
you're not going to find my address.
Yeah,
No,
we're not
we'll
talking
just go
about
at
that,
shift
'cause-
change and
Well, thank
watch
you
your
for saying
drive
that
away.
about the public schools, because I sub there,